Hey guys, welcome back to Tarot and Beyond. I'm really excited for today's reading, which is To the Sea. So the inspiration for this reading was actually because I went to the ocean yesterday and had a beach day, and I was thinking about the card To the Sea in the deck, The Wisdom of the Oracle, and I came up with this idea. So what I've done is actually selected all of the sea-themed or ocean-themed cards from many different decks, and I used those to select for each one of your piles or each one of your groups. So you can use the images here in front of you to select what resonates with you. Pile number 1 or group number 1, which is the coral. Pile number 2 and group number 2 is the seashell, and pile number 3/group number 3 is the sea turtle. So choose whichever one or multiple images resonate with you and use the timestamps linked in the description box and also pinned in the comments to jump ahead to your reading, and I'll see you there. All right, hi group number 1, welcome to your To the Sea reading. So the concept for this reading is really about getting back to nature, back to basics, connecting with the ocean, cleansing, healing, all of that beautiful ocean energy. So let's take a look at what cards you have. We have lots going on here. So I'm actually going to set aside your tarot and we'll start with the oracle cards, and I'll start from biggest to smallest. So we have the wolf. Now, the reason I added the wolf into the sea category here is because I live in the Northwest British Columbia, and there's actually sea wolves on the islands. And so they live off of the ocean fish. And so they're super rare, but I did want to add that. So you guys have the wolf. That's going to be like the centering of your reading. You also have celebrate differences. Okay. You have be your best self always. I love these nature whispers of nature. I think that's what the deck is called. I love the cards. The illustrations on these are just absolutely gorgeous. Okay, you have Treasure Island. Yes, I love this for you. You have a definitely yes. The answer to your question is a strong yes. This is really great. I'm still not sure what the yes is to, but we will figure that out as we move along through your reading. You also have, you are seeing the situation accurately, Horus. So yes, there's definitely some clarity here that you already have, and this is probably just going to be confirmation for that. You have the manatee, accept the situation as it is rather than fighting to change it. And you have platypus, stop complaining and focus on your attention on the blessings in your life. Now they are prompting me to stop pulling cards and to start looking at the message, and then to come back to the rest of the oracle and the tarot once we've done that. There we go. And I repositioned everything so that it's all in frame. Okay, so group number 1, what I'm getting from you is resourcefulness and using your environment, whatever it happens to be, to grow. Now, your environment doesn't always mean something outside of you. Sometimes it's your internal environment as well. And that's what I'm seeing here for you. So it's almost like the energetic signature of yourself is quite unique. Your personality, your way of seeing the world, your way of feeling into a situation is very unique. And so what they're calling you to do here is to unlock this treasure within yourself, rather than focusing on contrasting, comparing yourself to others and devaluing your own treasure. Because I see that you are like a wealth of being, for lack of a better way of saying that. It's like you are such a priceless entity, you know what I mean? Like nobody else is like you, nobody. And so it's really important to actually celebrate the differences between you and someone else. They're also drawing, or you and other people. They're also drawing my attention to the platypus. And again, it's that uniqueness. I didn't even think of the correlation between the message and that animal. But yeah, platypus is an extremely unique animal. There is nothing else like it. It is a mammal, and yet it lays eggs, and yet it's also poisonous. It has a duck bill, and it's a beaver tail. Like, what even is that thing? What? So, but it's so cool. It's so cool that people thought that it was a hoax when they first discovered it. So it's like unbelievable. You have unbelievable uniqueness, group number one, and you're meant to thrive in that uniqueness. But if you're comparing yourself to something that's cookie cutter or something that is just different in general, it doesn't have to mean that it's worse. It's different than what you are because you're so unique. Everything is going to be different than you. But if you're focusing on trying to be the same, you're discounting or denying your own gifts. So what I'm seeing here is that you accepting yourself with manatee here, it's all about self-acceptance, will create a better environment internally so that you can be your best self, which is where the treasure lies. And you unlock that treasure. That's what helps you be resourceful, because the story of like the sea wolves is that we don't normally associate wolves with the ocean, but the reason I included it is because I've literally been on an ocean tour and saw the sea wolves on the shore. And the guide explained about how the wolves were resourceful and they used the ocean, which is their primary resource, for food. So it's adaptability. It's being able to adapt to your environment while still not losing your uniqueness and what makes you different. Like, you're still that animal, but you're in an environment that normally wouldn't work for you, but you somehow make it work for you because you're so resourceful and adaptable and unique. And you already see this. Like, I feel like you see it and you know this, but you've just been looking at it from kind of the wrong perspective. And that's what I'm seeing here with the answer is yes. It's a very strong yes. And then you have Horus, which is you're seeing the situation accurately. And the platypus is saying stop complaining. So it's basically like focusing, and it does say focus your intention on the blessings in your life. So it's just a perspective shift. That's all it is, because you already see this uniqueness within you, but maybe you've just been looking at it through the lens of comparison rather than of how valuable that means you are. There's nobody else like you. And, look at our society. Rarity is highly valued. Defective merchandise, highly valued. Why? Because it's got an anomaly that makes it unique. And I'm not saying that you're defective, group number one. Please don't misunderstand me. I mean that you are rare. You are a functional product that has a rare defect, and that, like, I wish there was a better word than defect, because that's not actually accurate, but a rare abnormality, let's say. And that's what makes you so unique and so sought after. So for example, like a toy that's mass produced, let's say this is a great example. And I literally have a TY here. These are like the new versions, not the old ones from the millennial era, like I grew up with, but it's like the TYs, okay? A lot of them are valuable in and of themselves, but the ones that have those defects, they're worth millions. Why? Because they're rare. So this is what I see for you, group number one. Your energy is so freaking rare. But let's get more information. You have selenite, and I literally have some selenite here in the dish. It's a heart-shaped selenite, and they're actually prompting me to show you my other one as well. So hold on, let me grab that. This is my other selenite. I have two selenite ones. This one is the one that's kind of carved into the shape of like a unicorn. And they're drawing my attention to the narwhal, which also has like a unicorn horn. And it's funny because people who were trying to prove that unicorns existed used to look to narwhal horns as proof. And then sometimes they would even use narwhal horns. Like some people would try and sell that as like a faux unicorn horn or pass it off as a unicorn horn. So there's something to do in your reading about like uniqueness and authenticity, because 2 times we've kind of seen, like with the platypus, people didn't believe that was real. They thought it was fake because it was so bizarre. And then with the unicorn horns, same thing. It's like people didn't believe that this was on a freaking whale. Like, it's so bizarre. Why is that a thing? But it is. And so I feel like this is you. You might be very eccentric. You might be just like super unique. You just have like a very different style or way of carrying yourself or perspective on the world. Let me know in the comments below if you feel comfortable sharing. But like, I definitely see your uniqueness here is like mind-blowing and so priceless. So that's what I'm seeing there with selenite. Okay, and then you have Quantum Quattro. And I just added whatever stones kind of felt like ocean vibes to me. I don't think these ones are actually from the ocean, but if I got an ocean vibe off of it, I added it to the reading. So let me just tune into Quantum Quattro. Actually, you know what? Let's get the guidebook because I feel like there's going to be info in there that's relevant. Okay, so Quantum Quattro is about synergy. It has amazing healing power and a dramatic effect on physical vitality. It brings about an energetic shift and integration. You are an extremely complex person who is seeking wholeness within yourself. Examine all facets of your personality, especially those you hide from yourself or others. Accept those of value. Yep, I knew there was going to be confirmation here. Find the gift hidden deep within mistakes. Forgive and let go. Release yourself from codependencies and abusive relationships. Heal your inner child and recognize the resources you have to draw on. This is literally just, I love doing readings. I freaking love it because there's just so much magic and you see it real time and I get to share it with you. But yeah, the resourcefulness, the acceptance, the value, all of those things. I love that. Okay, so now you have joy. Joy is the highest energy of all. It's the magical sense that everything is possible. Joy springs from appreciating the gifts within each moment. Joy allows you to attract and create your present and future moments at their highest possible levels. Okay, so yes, and I literally just peeked my eye around the corner. My tripod covers like a lot of the reading, so I have to move around it to see it, but I just happened to look and I saw the dolphin in this card, and then you have the dolphin in this card as well. And there's both times there's a lady riding the dolphin. So it feels like this is you riding the joy because the dolphin is all about joy and playfulness. I also see this as it says appreciating the gifts, and that makes me think of you appreciating your own gifts, your own specialities, your own differences. And I love that it says joy is the highest energy of all, because we were just seeing with Quantum Quattro that it's all about that very, very powerful energy, that very high level energy. So this is what you're being called to do, and you might have to shift out of like pessimism of your own perception of yourself so that that acceptance and that joy and that celebration, I just heard, celebration of your gifts and your resourcefulness and your value can truly be seen. Okay, and then you have the octopus. I feel like the octopus here is kind of like you've changed yourself to try and fit in before, like it's chameleon type vibes. And that's what octopuses do. They can literally change the color and light frequency and texture of their skin. They're such amazing creatures, and also very, very unique. Like who the heck ever thought up of that's funny. I almost said unicorn. I meant octopus, but I almost said unicorn, and the unicorn did come up in, with like the narwhal. So yeah, unicorns are just very, very rare, right? Like the idea or the archetype of a unicorn is rarity. They're so elusive that people believe they don't even exist. And that's the thing about you, like you're a unicorn. You're a unicorn. You're so rare. And I think because of that, you haven't seen your value because you're trying to look for people who are like you, and there are none. But that's what makes you so freaking valuable, you guys. So stop trying to blend in. Stand out. You may have tried to blend in for safety reasons, is what they're just telling me as well. So you may have tried to blend in because you didn't feel safe to be unique. Maybe you even got ostracized or attacked for being unique in the past. So it makes sense. It makes sense to adapt, right? And that's what we were seeing with the wolves. You have to adapt to survive. But what I'm seeing here is that your true value lies underneath the surface of all of those adaptations that came in as survival mechanisms. And you're meant to thrive now. You're meant to come back to yourself and appreciate your uniqueness by returning to it. And so you don't have to hide anymore. You don't have to change your skin. You don't have to dress differently or act differently or pretend you're something other than what you are. And it might take a little while to unmask because so for those of you who don't know, I have ADHD, and ADHD and autism kind of go hand in hand. And so I've never been tested for autism, but I feel like ADHD is kind of on the spectrum, which is why I love like kitty things and colors, and I have like sensory stuff. So speaking of sensory stuff, like how cool is this? It's got a mermaid in it. Anyway, yeah, see, ADHD. Anyway, so I feel like I can really relate to you, group number one, because I grew up in an environment where it was all about being the same as everyone else. Otherwise, you got attacked. And being somebody who thinks differently, whose brain processes information differently, who feels into the world differently, it was very challenging. And I get that adaptation. Like, I get the need to try to survive by changing yourself, by masking, by blending in. But you're meant to be unique. You're meant to be this amazing, one-of-a-kind being. And so it's all about appreciating that and coming back into that and celebrating the differences that make you so special. So for example, in my own life, I tried to dress more. I would like downplay, wear lots of black. I would wear like normal jewelry and things like that. And since I've been focusing on self-love and self-acceptance, I'm noticing that I'm going through a bit of a style change and a rebirth because I'm unmasking. And I'm coming back into my more authentic self, which is that I love kitty stuff. I have like a big sensory itch to scratch when it comes to like colors and I don't know, just like sensory good things. And so I'm having so much fun with it. And that's the joy and the dolphin energy. It's like that playfulness, that joy that brings is priceless. You also have eagle. I also included eagle because again, on the North Coast or on the Northwest Coast, eagles are often seen fishing in the sea. So I see this as, again, the yes and the you're seeing things clearly is just like this, the messages in this reading are just blowing my mind because the eagle is like the clearest possible sight. So you're able to see this so clearly. You just actually may be too clear in the sense that like you're seeing yourself so clearly, like you're so self-aware that's what caused you to compare to everyone else. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, you're so self-aware that you're like always kind of hyper-analyzing everything and everyone. And you're unconsciously contrasting and comparing. So all you have to do to shift this, well, not all you have to do, but a big thing that you're being guided to do through this reading is to shift your perspective, because that perspective shift of seeing the differences as devaluing rather than seeing the differences as valuing, that's what's going to kind of like just shift the whole energy pattern. Because you can still analyze, you can still look for those differences, but now you've rewired your brain to look for the positive things instead, or to see it as a positive thing, and to benefit from it. And this is actually something that applies to the 7D manifesting blueprint. So there's one comparative in that, which is essentially how you take your soul and you create from it physically. And one of those comparatives is contrast versus similarity. And for souls whose blueprint is similarity, it is aligned for them to look for similarities. That's how they see their divinity. That's how they see themselves as divine beings and creators. That's how they identify their gifts. But if you're a contrast person, which I'm getting the intuition that you are, group number one, and so am I, by the way, what you're going to do is, instead of seeing the similarities between you and others, it's actually more beneficial to see the contrasting comparatives, but not with the eye of I'm not like them, so I'm not valuable, but instead seeing the differences as a reflection of your gift. So it helps you to see your gift more clearly because you see how different you are than everyone else. You know, how would you do that project? How would you do that creative thing? How would you see that experience, or how would you interpret it? So it's your unique perspective and gifts and expression that can really open you up to seeing your gift in the contrasts that you see with other people. And you have dolphin. I love it. Yeah, lots of dolphin energy in this reading. I just feel like, yeah, they want to sit right there together. Dolphins and dolphins. Lots of playfulness, joy, just innocence, and allowing yourself to see that is also, I think, how you're going to really accept yourself and step into this treasure. Now, I do want to ask about the treasure, and we have cards left, so we still have the tarot cards. Again, I just chose the ones that had ocean themes and then used those to pull for each pile. So you have the Queen of Cups, which in this deck, which is the Disney princesses, is, what's her name? Odette. She's the swan princess. So swans kind of more like lakes and stuff like that, but I still included it because the Queen of Cups makes me think of the ocean anyway, and swans, I guess, could go in the ocean if they really wanted to. So this is like you're able to transform, because Odette was a human who got cursed into being transforming into a swan. And so every day she would become the swan again, or she would get trapped as the swan. I can't remember, I haven't seen the movie in a while, but it's basically like transformation. And I'm seeing that kind of like adapting again, like you're adapting or masking for your environment, which is, it's not a bad thing. Like you still want to use that skill when you need it, but like being able to unmask more and be your natural self is going to help you to feel more free and more empowered and more joyful and alive than ever before, because it's going to be the real you that actually gets to interact and experience the world. Okay. You have the Five of Coins reversed. So this is making me think of abundance. Yeah, the treasure, because in the upright, this would be lack, but I'm seeing it as like as the treasure that's within you. And I bumped the narwhal, so that makes me think of how like the high prices that people used to pay for these very rare unicorn horns, because that was considered, like a magical, mystical thing. So again, it's like if you have something to offer the world, your treasure is really in your uniqueness, your perspective, your way of doing it. Like you could be doing something that a million other people are doing, but you're going to be doing it differently than 99.9999999 versions of or the other people. You know what I mean? Like you're so freaking unique, and that is so special. And I love that this is actually the last unicorn deck. So I knew the unicorn energy kept coming up, but this is the last unicorn deck, and that's from the movie The Last Unicorn, which I think came out in like the 80s. And yeah, group number 1, I feel like you are the last unicorn. You have the Fool card in reverse. So I feel like this is, I'm getting rebirth energy from this, which is interesting because the Fool card is not like the Death card, but I am getting that from this. It's like a need for, or that you're currently going through some kind of rebirth and a transformation too. And because this new beginning is kind of calling you in this direction to cleanse and clear all of those old comparisons and negative thinking and pessimistic contrasting that you were doing, or possibly internalized from other people doing that to you, right? Because sometimes it's not all us doing it. Sometimes we were taught to look at the world and see other people versus ourselves that way, because that's what other people did to us. Why can't you be like more like so-and-so? Or why are you so different? Or why are you dressed like that? You're weird, like that kind of thing. So I see you cleansing and clearing yourself of that with the selenite here. It's one of the most cleansing and healing crystals, and it's made from salt from the ocean. So it's very, very, very purifying. And I just see you clearing out all of the old ways of perceiving yourself and coming into this profound state of acceptance that allows this rebirth to happen. Whoops. Okay. You have the Eight of Cups in the reverse as well. So it came out like that. So I feel like this is you finding yourself, because the Eight of Cups upright is walking away from something. And I think that's definitely part of this here. But in walking away, you're finding yourself, or you're walking toward, rather, because again, it's about perspective for you in this reading. It's all about perspective. And so instead of looking at it as you walking away from people, situations, or old ways of being or talking or doing or dressing or whatever it happens to be, instead you're walking toward your joy. You're walking toward what fills you with that sense of I just heard the word opulence. Like maybe like, and it's luxurious, because again, I'm getting luxury as well. And we did have that treasure island card. It's like you're unlocking hidden treasure that allows you to step into the experience, if not the literal translation of that, but at least the experience of that opulence and that luxury of just being able to be yourself. And then you have the Four of Coins, but you do have to let go. The Four of Coins in the upright is holding on to something, and the Four of Coins reversed is letting go. So I do see you letting go of this and moving away from it, being able to, again, cleanse and clear, because I bumped the selenite moon dish that I have here. So cleansing and clearing will help you to let go of this. So maybe you need to actually do a closet cleanse, like go through all your clothes and see what doesn't feel right for you anymore, because the octopus is all about, what you look like or what you're wearing, or maybe you change your hairstyle or your hair color or something like that. That's more authentic. Like I see you guys being like brunette to purple hair, or like blonde to green, or like just a like plain cut to like shaving one side, and just very unique. Like you stand out, and you're not doing it to peacock. You're not doing it to impress anyone. You're just doing it because it brings you joy. Like you could care less about what other people think of you, is what the energy that I get from you in this reading. You're just like, I want to feel confident. I want to feel good in myself. I want to enjoy looking at myself for this reason, because for no other reason other than it just brings me a sense of happiness. So do it. Yeah, just do it. Nike, just do it. Okay. Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that Definitely Yes is from the unicorn deck too. Yeah, so you have lots of unicorn energy in your reading. You're very, very unique, group number one. And they've just reminded me of the coral. So the coral is very fast growing, and it needs the right environment though. So it can grow really fast and it can sustain lots of life, but it needs the right environment. So like subtle changes in the environment can kill the coral, which is what we've been seeing, coral devastation on the barrier reefs and things like that. So I feel like you need to put yourself in the right environment as well, because you have adapted to situations that were not ideal for you, like the wolves who live on the coastline or who live on those islands and were able to survive and even thrive. But maybe there are certain environments or certain people that really are toxic to you, because they kind of try to force you into a box or into a mold of something that you're just not. And so trying to be that to appease them or to comfort their insecurities or to just conform to their expectations, it's like it's killing you, is what I'm feeling. It's so highly uncomfortable and damaging. So this is really about moving out of those situations or environments or relationships where your uniqueness is not honored, and people have showed that to you through their actions. And instead choosing to honor yourself, accept yourself, love yourself, see all of your differences as freaking valuable, guys. Like this, I'm talking like really, really valuable. So own it. That's all I have to say. Just own it, okay? Group number one, you're amazing. You're fast at growing. You're highly adaptable. You're so resourceful, so resilient. You are highly intelligent, because they're drawing my attention to the octopus, and they have massive brains and they're super, super smart. So you are highly, highly intelligent, and you're seeing everything accurately except for that one tiny thing, which is just the perspective. That's it. That's all it is. All you have to do is reroute the perspective, and now it's going to color everything with the clarity of truth of your being, which is so, so, so valuable and priceless. All right, group number 1, that is what I see for you in your To the Sea reading. Thank you so much for joining me today and allowing me to provide this for you. It was truly a pleasure. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, you can do so by going to the link to my website, which is in the description box below this video. I do all sorts of different readings and services and offerings that I have there. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. And we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right. Hi, group number 2. Welcome to your To the Sea reading. If you chose the seashell, this is for you. So I have a lot of different cards here. So what I did was I essentially went through all of the decks that I have and looked for things that were either related to the sea, the ocean, or reminded me of it. So we're going to save your tarot cards for after, and we're going to start with your oracle. So you have Swan. Now I know swans are kind of more associated with lakes and stuff like that, but I included the swan because it's related to water and they do sometimes go to the ocean as well. So we'll leave that there. You have Seek Beauty. Okay. You have Fresh Approach. You have Imagine as well. This is looking really pretty. And then they're reminding me, Seek Beauty. Yeah, it's really beautiful reading. All right, you have Forgive. It's time to let go of anger or blame. And we'll get more information on what this means. You have Trust with Vishnu. You also have Octopus. Group number 1 had Octopus from a different deck. Practice shape-shifting by alerting your... Sorry, let me try that again. Practice shape-shifting by altering your physical appearance and mannerisms. Okay, starting to get the message here. You also have Polar Bear. Stand up for yourself and speak your truth respectfully and compassionately with no attachment to outcome. All right, so I'm going to actually save these oracle cards for later. I just want to get the vibe of your reading first, and then we'll go forward more. Okay, so group number 2. What I'm seeing here is actually sort of similar to group number 1, but there's a little bit of a difference. So for you, what I'm seeing is that you are meant to be focusing on what is beautiful and what you can create out of that. So where group number 1, we were looking at how they can appreciate their own uniqueness. For you, I see that this is much more to do with your creative expression and how that relates to maybe your physical appearance as some part of that as well. But there's definitely an energy of pain, especially if things didn't work out in the past. So if there was failures, if there was rejection, if there was experiences that hurt you or people that hurt you because they didn't understand you or your creative vision, what I'm seeing here is that you may have a hard time trusting yourself to perceive something that is beautiful and understand that it is beautiful, because other people might not see it the same way. Like you might have an idea for something and think it's brilliant, and then somebody else just doesn't understand it, and that can come as a major blow. So it's really about you tapping into your imagination for what it is that you think is beautiful, or what lights you up, or what you creatively are inspired by, so that you can reconnect with your wings again, because they're showing me the swan here. It's like trusting your own wings to be able to fly. Because trying to explain to an elephant the beauty of flying through the clouds, it's just not going to make sense to them. It's just not. And the quote, what is it? Spirit? And those who were seen dancing were called crazy by those who could not hear the music. Yeah. That's what I'm picking up on here. So this is really about reconnecting to your trust in yourself and your vision, like your creative vision, because it is very unique. It is a very high level perspective, but not everyone's going to understand that because they're not all seeing it the way you are. And sometimes they're not even capable of being shown that. Like, you might show them something that is so visionary, so valuable, so transformative, and they're just like, I don't get it. Or that doesn't make sense to me, or I don't like that. And that's fine, because it's not for them. It's not meant for them, because they're not going to be able to use that. You know what I mean? Like, they're not at that level yet. It's like you're ahead of your time. Group number 2, you're ahead of your time. And it's all about beauty. And they're reminding me of the image you chose, which is the seashell. And that reminds me of Venus. And we do have some seashells here. I've got the dish with my crystals in it. And then we have this one, which is a really fun little toy I picked up at the dollar store. I'm just like, it's so cute and it's such a sensory thing for me. So I had to have it. And then I figured we could do a reading with it. So I'm like, okay, I'm using it. It's productive. But I feel like it's all about beauty for you. And I even with Vishnu, I'm getting Venus vibes. Like, he's emerging from the ocean. He's got this thing behind him that almost looks like a seashell. So it's very Venusian. It's very, what is beautiful to you. And as they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So it's not about what is generically beautiful. It is what is beautiful to you and why. And that is going to resonate with very specific people who need it. So if you have a creative expression or outlet or project or idea, please create it or act on it or transform yourself into being it, or whatever it happens to be, because people need that. But you have to let go of some of the pain that caused you to not trust your vision, to not trust what you were seeing and what it is that you're here to share. So let's continue. I want to get some more information. Oops, except for I can't get your cards up. Hold on. Okay. All right. There's some messages there. So I had a hard time getting your cards up off the table. That reminds me of the swan, like having a hard time lifting off, not trusting your own wings. Swans also, they're reminding me, swans are so beautiful, so graceful, so elegant. And you might feel like an ugly duckling. You might have tried to fit in with all of the little duckies, but you didn't know that you're a swan. Because that's what they're bringing to mind, is the story of the ugly duckling. And this does have to do something with appearance, because we do have practice shape shifting by altering your physical appearance and mannerisms. So you may have tried to fit in and make yourself more like a duck when you're a swan. Group 2, you're meant to be a swan. You are gorgeous, radiant, beautiful, physical appearance aside. Like, quote unquote, conventional beauty is just trash. Anyway, so beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is in love. Beauty is in your authentic radiance. So whatever is beautiful to you, that might be like spikes and, mohawks. It might be no hair at all. It might be that you want to wear like a Teflon suit. I don't know, whatever the heck you want, right? Like if you want to wear a potato sack, then wear that potato sack and own your beauty. Okay, you can go bareface, you can do full glam makeup, you can do whatever the heck you want, group number 2, because you're beautiful no matter what. And it's just feeling that and owning that, which means wearing what makes you feel beautiful, not for anyone else, not to fit into certain standards or to conform with the other duckies. It's to allow yourself to experience your own beauty for your own sake, for your own pleasure. Okay. Now you have the ocean. We're literally doing a to the sea reading, and the ocean is here. So it says, the deep blue sea speaks to your soul, healing and soothing you. Even the act of imagining yourself dipping into its healing womb brings about desirable effects. Better yet, spend time physically near the ocean. Allow its power and beauty to wash away all cares and concerns. So yes, it is forgiveness through cleansing. Again, similar message to group number 1. I feel like maybe you're the same person or this is just like a theme that we've got going with these readings. But I feel like this is really about your imagination. Like you are such a visionary, group number 2, and you need to own that. I mean, like do whatever you want. You don't need to do anything, but it would be great because you are so beautiful and you have such a vision and you're so creative, and you're also, you've been wounded by people not honoring your fresh approach. Like maybe you had this very unique idea and people were like, no, that's stupid. And so you shut that down. Like I said, you stop trusting yourself, but you can heal that, you can cleanse that, and that's what the ocean is here to help you do. So maybe even just going to the beach or connecting with some ocean energy. Selenite is great for that. What else? You can even just add sea salt to your bath if all else fails, right? Like if you don't have any access to anything else, get you some sea salt and just dump it in your bathtub and have a soak, because it's going to help you to cleanse some of this pain out, and forgive yourself and others for the boxes that they tried to aggressively shove you into. You have shark, predators. Oh, I'm also getting sensitivity from shark here too. So there's a duality to it. The first side is the people who preyed on you and your vision and your imagination and your trust, because I do feel like you're a very open-hearted, trusting person, and that's what makes you so creatively inspired and artistic and visionary. That's why your imagination is so good, and why you have such an eye for beauty is because you're sensitive, because you're trusting, because you're open. Now, some people did try to take advantage of that, and that doesn't mean you have to forgive them and let them back in your life or continue to have them in your life. It's really just about letting go for yourself. Like you don't forgive for other people, you forgive for yourself so that you don't carry that with you. That pain doesn't have to continue to limit your visionary status, is what I'm hearing, your visionary status or your creative expression. The shark here can also speak of sensitivity as well, which is what I was picking up on with that trust energy too. So it's like you're able to move through the water and feel everything. Like you're so connected. You might have heightened sensory abilities. You might be actually psychic, or you might just have like a capacity to feel in more depth than some other people would. And again, it's like the artist, the creative. I'm also being called to mention autism. So if you have autism, that could also be part of it. And it doesn't have to be diagnosed. If you identify with that, then it is like that sensory sensitivity that I'm picking up here. And for those of you, I'm ADHD. So yeah, same, but different. And you have unicorn. Okay, so like group 1 and group 2 are just like you guys are the same people or something, because it's like the same message. The unicorn here is uniqueness and beauty and innocence and sensitivity. So it's literally all the things we've been talking about and I've been seeing in your energy and your reading. The unicorn, though, is like super vulnerable, but it's also extremely powerful. And it's capable of cleansing and transmuting and healing through that innocence and vulnerability. So it's really a perspective shift into owning that sensitivity and honoring it, forgiving yourself for being so sensitive because other people didn't honor it within you. And maybe you stopped honoring it within yourself because all of these sharks kept biting you and telling you that you needed to make yourself smaller, so you did. But maybe you're meant to be the shark, but not for not biting other people. You're just meant to be like a peaceful shark that swims around and I'm seeing you like keep moving, like the shark needs to keep swimming. So you might need to like move away from people who were negative like this, or move out of environments that are toxic or dysfunctional for you, or that shut down your imagination or your capacity to be unique. Okay. And then you have fish as well. So you've got like shark and fish. So I don't know, are you the shark? Are you the fish? I think it's up to you. I think it's going to vary from person to person, because the sharks aren't bad in and of themselves. It's the energy that it's representing and the duality of those two aspects. But the fish here is making me think of swimming as well. So it's like moving away gracefully, being able to move to calmer waters. I'm getting almost like Six of Swords energy from the fish here, which is moving out of turmoil and drama and chaos into a more serene environment or more peaceful experiences. So that's kind of what I'm getting from fish here. I'm also getting good luck because they're making me think of like a koi pond, and koi fish are very good luck in Chinese culture. So I feel like you are very lucky. You just have to trust this uniqueness within you, this imagination, this vision, this sensitivity, this capacity for great beauty and creation, so that you can heal your heart and form a different approach that's going to be more honoring of your authenticity and your uniqueness. And you have Menelite. Okay, so I added this one in because it's got like a very watery type of vibe to it. Like it looks very flowing. So let's actually take a look at that. There. Okay, ooh, there. So Menelite is the wise feminine. It has a profound connection with earth, the wise feminine, and priestess power. It marks rites of passage through womanhood to wisdom. You are an immortal soul who is an embodiment of the wise feminine. Express this through your body and actions. Go deep into yourself to find your connection to Mother Earth. Sit in her womb of healing. In meditation, you heal your soul. Put aside fear and remember that transitions are necessary prerequisites for growth. And then it also says, honor your sacred sexuality. Mark rites of passage joyfully. Experience a period of gestation. To move would not be beneficial now. Nurture yourself and bide your time. Withdraw into your inner world to accept necessary change. Make your soul whole and find power allies. You know when it is time for rebirth. Okay, so let's look at it this way. What I'm seeing, there's like so many different messages that came through with this. First of all is like that feminine energy that we were seeing with Venus and the shell and even the unicorn. It's like it's very divine feminine energy, whether you're masculine or feminine, if you're male or female, it doesn't matter. It's the feminine quality and the healing that comes from that. I also wanted to note that it says that moving is not the right time right now, but I actually felt that for some of you that's not 100% accurate, because we did have that movement energy come up, so you actually may be called to move for some of you, or maybe not moving like moving house, but like to move out of an old way of being or to move out of an old way of doing things. And find power allies. Okay, so when I was seeing that, what I saw in my mind was in Finding Nemo, when Marlin makes friends with the sharks. So instead of the sharks eating him, the fish, okay, now we're getting a bit more clarity on who's the shark and who's the fish. You're able to make friends with the sharks, who are the positive expression or the light quality of those sharks on that dualistic spectrum. And by doing so, you protect yourself, you keep yourself safe, because you are quite vulnerable, but I don't think that's a bad thing. It's a strength, it's a gift in and of itself, because it's what's needed in the world to heal, to cleanse. So I feel like having like bodyguards almost is necessary. You know, if you're very, very loving and gentle, it can be helpful to have some kind of protection. And I think that's what these positive qualities of the shark are representing here, if you're the fish. All right, let's look at your next card. Aquamarine. Oh, I love it. This is actually my birthstone because I am a Pisces, March baby. And aquamarine here is making me think of the movie Aquamarine, which I loved growing up. I was so obsessed with mermaids, and The Little Mermaid and Aquamarine were two of my favorites. And so I see you really like finding your fishtail again, almost, you know, it's like you're the fish, but you're like this hybrid being, and you're like finding yourself again, your authenticity, you're finding your uniqueness through that vulnerability, through that beauty. And you're able to connect to those positive qualities of creation and healing that the feminine evokes, and using that masculine power of the shark to protect yourself, like within yourself, or maybe even having people around you that are protective of you in that way. I do want to read Aquamarine from the book though, so let's see. Aquamarine is hope. Aquamarine has long been a healing gem associated with the sea and also with stimulating psychic abilities. It was believed to protect against seduction. You are deeply intuitive, but you need to assess this realistically. Do not be seduced by vivid imaginings, wishful thinking, or spiritual claptrap. Use your imagination to create what is for your highest good, and well-being follows. If you fall into depression, remember that hope shines into the darkest places. Okay, so there's a couple things that I'm seeing from this. Number one is the intuitive psychic aspect. I am definitely picking up on that in your reading here. I also felt called and feel called to note that Aquamarine here is a healing gem. I didn't even know that. But yeah, it definitely makes sense in the context of your reading. This could be a stone that you're called to work with right now to help to heal some of this. I also wanted to note that it said, do not be seduced by vivid imaginings, especially since you had the imagine card and other confirmations of that word, imagine and imagination. So I feel like it's really about making sure that you're using your imagination productively, because you can use your imagination to like replay scenarios where you're angry or where you're blaming people or where you were hurt, or you can use your imagination to create more trust, more beauty, like creative designs and ideas and expressions. So like it's a choice that you have to make. Which one do you want to put your energy toward? I also see to protect against seduction, because in Menelite we did see an emphasis on sacred sexuality. So it's kind of, again, you have this duality of seduction being coined as like a negative thing that takes you out of your power, or someone else taking your power from you, like a predator, versus sexuality being sacred and divine feminine and healing and like embracing that divine desire. So it's interesting that a lot of the themes in your reading are very much about duality. It's like these two sides of the coin. And if you're very psychic and hypersensitive and aware, you are most likely aware of all of these dualities. And so you might have had a hard time, especially in your youth, trying to figure out what is right, what is wrong, and what is the truth of the situation here. But I do feel like the more that you come into your authenticity, the more that you trust your own inner beauty and your own authentic self, that's where that trust is going to build and grow. And you're going to be able to see things much more clearly, and you'll be able to integrate both sides of the duality to see the larger whole and that wider truth. Okay, now we're going to look at your tarot cards. So you have the Lovers, and I chose this one because Elsa freezes the fjord. And so this is really the energy of like frozen ocean. So where have things been repressed? Because that's what I think of with Frozen as well. And that's why they're calling for forgiveness here and a fresh approach, because it's important for you to release some things, is what I'm hearing here, to release your inner feminine, to let your true beauty shine. That's what they're saying. And part of this is not repressing it anymore. It's like, let it go. Let it go, let it go, can't hold it back anymore. Okay, so this is you letting go of all of the predispositions for, not predispositions, but letting go of all of the conditions. That's what I meant. Conditions that have been put on you to fit in or to abide by the rules or to not be your unique self. And now you're coming back into a really more balanced understanding of who you are and how to express that. You have the Queen of Coins here in reverse, and this is the last unicorn deck. And I just love that you have the unicorn in your reading. I was wondering who was going to get that, or if it was going to come up. So The Queen of Coins reversed here is making me think of, similar to group number one's message of devaluation of yourself. It's like you didn't see the value in yourself, and so you may have given up trying to express yourself in a way that felt authentic, or investing in yourself. I'm also hearing too, you may have stopped investing in yourself. And what they're showing me is the example of like not buying yourself clothes, continuing to wear the same old things year after year because you're just like, whatever. But it's like the investment in yourself that brings that sense of joy and pleasure and beauty and vision back to life. Your creative expression comes back online, and you can actually see yourself as this artistic creative being and this beautiful, beautiful, radiant being that you are. So it actually helps you to trust more. So investing in yourself in that way, it really is an investment. It's not an expenditure because you're getting so much value from it. And then you have the Sun card reversed as well. So these are things that you were not seeing, that you were, I just heard the word hiding, that you were hiding from yourself. So this also may be where the trust or the broken trust came in, because you didn't want to see these parts of you because maybe they were rejected or criticized by others in the past because you're so unique. So I feel like you coming back to yourself is really, I'm just seeing someone running to the sea, and that's literally the name of this reading, but I'm seeing someone just like carefree running to the sea as if their life depends on it, but with so much like wild abandon is the word, like wild abandon, just letting go of everything and just running to the ocean and then collapsing into it and just letting it hold you, letting it cleanse you, letting it wash away all of that pain. And in my heart, there's like grief coming up in my heart right now. Like I'm feeling it spontaneously emerge, and it's started to bring tears to my eyes. So there's repressed things here that need to come up and out. And going to the sea is actually going to help you do that, because I don't think that this is just a metaphor. It's part of it, but I think that this is literal for you. So you've got to trust that call when it comes in. If this is it, then go to the ocean if you can, because it's going to help you to release some of this and to heal. Because that's what the Sun card represents in the upright. It's healing. And when I'm seeing it here reversed, yes, there's been things that have blocked from your consciousness that prevented you from healing, but now I'm seeing it as inner healing, because they're directing me to the unicorn, which is, and trust. All of these, it's all about trusting yourself to heal, purifying, and embracing your vulnerability in the beautiful qualities that it has. And you have the Magician also in reverse. Manifesting a new reality is what I just heard. Manifesting a new reality where you are celebrated, where you are honored, where you can also just create for yourself for the sake of yourself and not having to prove to anyone else or appease anyone else or please anyone else. So you're no longer focused on conformity. You're focused on just what feels right for you. And you have the High Priestess. Yeah, I mean, Menelite did talk about the High Priestess, so I'm not surprised to see that here. You're highly psychic, which is what makes you so sensitive, group number 2. It's what makes you such a fabulous creator, artist. And artistry isn't always just like painting and drawing and writing and stuff like that. It can be anything. It can be a way of walking, a way of talking, a way of thinking. It's just really your imagination and that divine feminine energy that you hold within you. And it's so healing, by the way, because the High Priestess here is making me think of like transmutation and healing unconscious patterns. Because again, with the Sun card, that's what I was seeing there too. So I see you being able to be a purifier of other people. So you're not just a healer for your own good or for your own sake, but you're able to transform others as well, whether they realize it or not. It's like your unique stamp on the world is an energetic frequency that helps to support humanity. So thank you for being here, group number 2, in this reading and also here on Earth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know it can be tough sometimes here. I know it can be hard for us sensitive souls because I resonate with this as well. And you're not alone. We're here together. Even if it's just through the computer or through the phone or whatever you're watching this on, just feel my energy, loving you as you are and supporting you in healing from whatever this pain was that took you away from yourself. And I'm encouraging you energetically and with the support of your team, your angels, your guides, your higher self, to step back into your high priestess energy, your wisdom, your grace, your beauty, your purity, and your innocence. So that is what I see for you, group number 2. Thank you so much for joining me today and allowing me to do this reading for you. It was really a pleasure to connect with your energy. And I'm wishing you so much healing, so much healing and transformation for your greatest and highest good. And so it is. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, you certainly can. I'm still offering personal readings and private sessions, and you can find all of the information around my services through the link to my website, which is pinned in the comment section and also in the description box below this video. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi, group number 3. If you chose the sea turtle, then this is your To the Sea reading. So what I have here is all of these cards, and I went through every single deck that I have that had anything to do with the ocean. And so I took out all the cards that either made me think of the ocean or that actually had depictions of the ocean. So we're going to save your tarot cards till the end. We're going to start with your oracle. So let's see what's coming up for you. You have seal. That's so funny. When I look at this, I heard seal of approval. That's so funny. It's like a pun, like this seal that comes in that's just approving of you. It's like the seal of approval. I'm easily amused. All right. And then you have be in service. I like that. The beautiful cards too. Okay. You have adventure. Ooh, this is looking fun. Okay. You have between worlds. Yeah, I'm definitely getting a travel vibe for you. Group number 3. Even the sea turtle reminds me of like in Finding Nemo when they're flying through the East Atlantic current or whatever it is. So yeah, it's like traveling and moving fast and being in like this current. Okay, let's find out more. Brothers and sisters, to get along with others, see the love and the best within them. Okay. I think this has to do with be in service. It's like being in service to others, doing things for people because you see all of them as your family, like brothers and sisters. Beautiful. And you have freedom. Yeah, you guys are meant to be free. You're meant to travel. You're meant to be in service in an empowered way. This is really cool. I'm loving this. And you have walrus. Remain vigilant about the current situation. Pay attention to signs and omens and let them dictate your choices. You know, I was just thinking about that right before the reading. I was thinking about how every time that I listen to my guides in regard to a situation, they will tell me what to do. And every time I listen, it turns out really, really well, very successful or lucrative. And if I don't listen, then I end up experiencing frustrations or lack or mishaps. So, yeah. And then you have the penguin. The period of darkness that you've been experiencing is now passing. Oh, I'm so glad to see that for you, group number 3. You are coming out of a challenging period, looks like, and you're instead moving into adventure and exploration and getting into the flow, because I think that's what that current is representing. It's like you're able to flow and move more quickly because you're free now from whatever this situation was. Reward yourself. You've been giving a lot of yourself lately, and it's time for you to receive. Make the time to reward yourself in a meaningful way. This balance of giving and receiving is essential to keeping your energy, mood, and motivation at a consistently high level. So I'm seeing specifically the conch shell that she has in her hand, and then they're drawing my attention to the shell that we had over here as well. So this reminds me of like listening to the sea. And so this can also be about listening to your guides, because we did have that message here about listening to signs, omens, and being able to interpret those to take action. And it makes sense to reward yourself, especially since we have service and, brothers and sisters. It feels very much like you've been in service to a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And sometimes that may have gone a little overboard in terms of your self-care. You might have neglected a little bit of self-care in favor of trying to help other people. Actually, let me put this somewhere else because this is a singular card and I don't want to imbalance your reading. There we go. Okay, and then you have snail. Okay, I feel like it's so funny because snail is usually associated with taking things slowly. But what I'm seeing here and what I'm feeling here, because what they're actually showing in my head is the movie Turbo. I think that's what it's called. And it's like a snail who wants to be a race car driver or who wants to be like he can go really fast, something like that. And of course they show me, my guides will use the references that I'm familiar with. And so they show me all of the movies that I like and the things that I've seen, which is usually like pop culture and Disney and cartoons and stuff. So if you vibe with that, stick around because there's going to be tons more of that to come. But I feel like the snail here is, I'm hearing pacing yourself, because you may have just come out of a very challenging situation and you listened to your intuition, you listened to your guides, because you're like a medium or somebody who has very sensitive senses, very psychic abilities. It's like you're just very open to the divine. You're very spiritual is what I'm getting from this. And so because of that, you were able to interpret those signs correctly, those synchronicities, angel numbers, maybe repeating themes and patterns or little intuitive nudges. And that's what's leading you towards this freedom. But you've just got to pace yourself, because going too fast, too quickly, and exerting too much effort after a period of giving a lot and not really getting a lot, it's like you're going to tire yourself out, but you're meant to get there. So that's why they're showing me that North Atlantic current in like Finding Nemo. So instead of having to swim all that way and exert all that effort by trying to go quickly, but in a way that was inefficient, they're saying get into the flow, get into the current. And that's what they're trying to help you do. Your spirit guides are trying to help you direct to where it's going to happen more efficiently. You just need to listen and then relax, surrender, and let yourself be carried to exactly where you need to go. And I've got shivers, so that's confirmation of truth. That's going to lead to freedom here, and it's going to help you move really fast, even though they're saying pace yourself. So it's like you'll be going slowly, but at the same time, going really quickly. That's really cool. I love that for you, Group 3. And that's kind of what I think of when I think about a turtle too. Like turtles, usually they're very slow moving creatures. We associate them with slowness, but even in Finding Nemo, the turtles are the ones who are going really super fast because they're using the environment, they're using the flow of nature to help spur them along. And it's like I'm seeing here for you, you're needing to use the like a combination of your own intuition, your own nature, and the environment. And they're drawing my attention to the penguin, which is also like a very awkward, slow moving bird. But then when you see them either like sliding down or swimming, they're so freaking fast. So it's like you might feel like you're going slow, but you're not. You're actually ripping it. And then you have flamingo. This is making me think of like a flock of flamingos. Like you rarely ever see a flamingo on their own. So this relates to brothers and sisters, like having a tribe of people. I'm also getting like ask for support because I'm noticing that the one leg is down supporting him and he's got one up that's resting. So maybe if you're tired or you're depleted, you can ask for support from your brothers and sisters who you were in service to help you to kind of take some of that load off or give yourself a bit of a break, and so that you don't fall behind. You know, you're still keeping up with everything, but you are maybe even accepting support as well. Like maybe you don't even have to ask. Maybe you just have to say yes if people offer. You know what I mean? And sometimes being in service to others and being so other focused can cause us to have a hard time receiving. So if that's the case for you, group number 3, then this is your spur or your little message from spirit there to listen to in regard to opening up to receive whatever it might be. That way you can feel as though your needs are being taken care of and that you're being supported in the way that you have given to so many others. You have the beaver. Yeah, you're such a busy beaver, group number 3. Like you work, 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 work. And I'm hearing that song, work, 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 work all day long. And I can't remember what that's from. I think it's Snow White. It's like the whistle while you work song. And you have a good time working. Like you enjoy what you're doing is what I'm seeing here to some degree. But it's like you don't necessarily prioritize doing that kind of work for yourself as much. And the beaver here is kind of saying, hey, you know, if you're going to do all this work, you might as well make it beneficial to you, you know, building your own home or building your own habitat that's going to be supportive. Because if you enjoy the work that you're doing and you're building yourself up in the process, it's just a win-win situation. And if you can help others as a byproduct of that, then it's a win-win-win situation. And that's very, very aligned. I always tell my clients, you know, if it's a win-win situation, it's aligned. If it's a win-lose situation, then there's something that's misaligned with it. And that's not always true. There's a lot of nuance to that, because when it comes to like giving up things that we don't want to let go of, but that are bad for us, that can feel like a lose. But it's really looking to the outcome. If the outcome is win-win, then it's positive and it's aligned at soul level. You have appetite. I'm not super familiar with this one, so I'm going to check the book for that, but let's put that here. And then you have Charawhite, same thing. I don't know this one either, so we're going to figure that out together. Okay. So appetite is acceptance. Appetite works at the interface between consciousness and matter to let go of what is outworn in your life. Clear away confusion or guilt. Accept the truth about yourself. You are a complex being with credits and deficits. Recognize these without judgment and move away from aloofness or social alienation and show others who you truly are. Use your perspicacity. You have much to offer by way of service as you access insights for the collective good. So that's, yeah, it's like you're able to access these insights because you can move between the worlds and you have this freedom of mind to be able to go very quickly while seemingly remaining still or moving slowly. So you're able to help others in a way that's very, very like disproportionate to what it looks like. It's like if it looks like you're only doing something a little bit, what you're actually doing is a lot. Like you're doing a lot for other people, more than you even realize, I think, group number 3. I'm also noticing that there are themes here with the appetite to group number 1 and 2. So if you were called to watch those readings or even to just watch all 3, then go for it. Why not? Have a great time. Get yourself a cup of tea, chill out, and just vibe out with me. Why not? I'm gonna watch my readings as soon as these are uploaded. By the way, I watch all my own readings and I go back and rewatch the ones that I forget what I talked about, and I'll let spirit guide me to which readings I need to hear, and I love it. Like I love it. So appetite is very high frequency. It is third eye and its timing is Gemini. Now I don't ever read the timings and they just prompted me to do that. So again, it's listening to the intuition, being between the worlds, being a medium of that kind, because it's the third eye that we're talking about here. And Gemini season is coming up. I'm filming this in May, which is Taurus, and I think June is Gemini because July is Cancer and then Leo. Yeah. So Gemini season is coming up. The timing of Gemini season is going to be big. So June, sorry. I'm just mixing them all up. So June is going to be a big month for you, group number 3. And this is a timeless reading. So even if you're not watching it in May or June of 2023, then wherever and whenever you happen to be coming across this video, it's going to be the June of that year or something of that sort. Or this could be in regard to you having Gemini in your top 3 or somewhere prominently in your natal chart, but I'm really feeling it more as like June, the month of June. And it's discerning the truth within that the soul path is this stone is talking about here. So let's look at Charawhite. Whoops. Yeah. Ooh. Charoite provides deep physical and emotional healing. Transmuting negative energy, it converts dis-ease to wellness. With its assistance, you recognize that your greatest trauma is also your most profound gift. Accept it with grace. Charoite re-energizes, heals, and integrates dualities, healing past life dis-ease carried into the present life. Okay, yeah, this is giving me pile number 2 vibes. Okay, so anyway, or group number 2. So I see for you group number 3, even if you weren't drawn to either of those readings and you're still not, that's totally fine. But I see here that you are healing a lot of these things that occurred that took you away from yourself, or that resulted from you overgiving or overextending yourself in that process of being of service to others, because you're such a highly conscious, compassionate being. You know, when you're so connected to spirit this way, you can't help but have that unity consciousness that drives you to be of service. You are a positively oriented polarity being, which means that by definition, you are in service to others. But there's a part of that that needs to be factored in here. There's duality to that, or there's paradox to that, I should say, which is that to be truly of service to others in an empowering way is to also be in service to yourself. Because when you're being in service to others, the other is actually an extension of you, because we're all one. So if you're being in service to them, but you're doing a disservice to yourself by doing that, am I losing you here? Just stay with me if you can. By overextending yourself and trying to give to others with no end, you're actually doing a disservice to them. Because you are them and they are you. And if you're hurting yourself in the process of trying to help them, that's not a win-win. Therefore, that's not aligned. So win-wins are aligned. Was that with this pile that we were talking about that, or was that with group 2? Well, now we're talking about it here too. So anyway, this is what I see for you. Oh wait, we've got more. So let's take a look at your tarot cards as well. You have the moon with the Little Mermaid, my favorite movie. It came out the year I was born. So it's always been like an iconic film for me, especially since I very much resonate with mermaids. So I see this as you desiring the freedom to go where you've never been before is what I'm seeing here, like freedom with Hina and the adventure card and travel and between the worlds. It's like, yeah, you're between the worlds, like a mermaid who's from the sea, who's desiring to walk on land and be human. You're between worlds. You're not really either one of those, because she can be both. So I feel like you are, yeah, and we did see that duality here as well, like with the slowness and the fastness. Service to self and service to others. Yeah, it's like these two dualities that you're looking to kind of harmonize and create that bridge between the worlds so that you can really step into your divine power, because you're highly psychic. The moon card's super psychic, intuitive energy. I definitely see this in your reading. So it's about you tapping into that, tuning into that, so that you can follow the signs or the nudges that you're getting to lead you to the most efficient and effective path where you can more quickly get to where you're needing or wanting to go. Let's take a look at your cards. You have Strength in reverse here. Well, this is really cool. And this is the last unicorn deck. So I feel like here, it's like you're making peace with this dualistic aspect of yourself, the rage and the peacefulness, the beauty and the beast. It's kind of what I'm getting from that. So you have the strength to heal by understanding this aspect of yourself in the same way that you would for other people. It's like getting along with yourself and healing yourself, and also being able to do that for others too. It's like you provide a lot of grace, a lot of strength through your grace. And you have the Tower. The imagery on these, I just love it. The Tower card here in reverse is speaking to me of, yeah, it feels like all the old things are crumbling into the sea. Just let them go. Let them fall into the sea, because you're busy with your own thing. And anything that's falling away is meant to fall away. But if there are things that are falling away and it's causing chaos for you, what I'm seeing here with all these unicorns, especially since this is the last unicorn, so she was supposed to be like the only one, and now there's a whole bunch of other ones that are free, because that's what happens in the movie. She frees them. It's like you are able to free others, and at the same time, you also have to free yourself by not holding on to these tower archetypes, which is anything that keeps you stuck or trapped or isolated. And that's where I see the support coming in, because we were seeing that here with brothers and sisters and with the flamingo leg. It's like asking for or receiving support from others just the way that you've supported them. It's like it needs to be reciprocal and not conditionally so. It's karmic balance. Okay. And then you have the Star card. Yes, you are definitely doing some transmutation, some healing work. I feel hope from this as well, and renewal. So you are renewing your sense of anticipation is what I heard as well. Anticipation and the freedom to explore. So this Star card feels like the North Star that's guiding you. Again, we did see that with the walrus, talking about looking to guidance, looking for the omens, looking for the signs and synchronicities. So I feel like the star here is like your inner North Star, because it did come up reversed. So to me, this feels like it's more internal than external. And so you're following your inner North Star to get to your destination, and you're traveling between the worlds because you're so connected to the other side, to your intuition. Really cool. And then finally, we have the Moon card reversed again. So you have the Moon card twice, highly, highly psychic, very profound healer. I'm seeing the crone energy here in this card as well. So it feels like you are very wise, very, very wise being. And I do see in this card a cycle ending. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. Is like a cycle ending, and there's growth happening. It's like you're freeing yourself from something. Yeah, and we did have, like, freedom is throughout your reading. So this could be physically, like you go travel, you free yourself from the monotony of life, or for somebody, I don't know if this is like a specific literal thing, but I'm going to tell the message anyway, because that's what I'm here to do. I did see a camper van, like somebody purchasing almost like one of those hippie vans and just going on like a cross-country type of thing, where you just do like living on the road or doing a road trip. And so for somebody out there, that could be something to, if you've already been considering that, if you've already been thinking about that, that could be the sign or the confirmation for you. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. So this is what I see for you, group number 3. You are moving quickly, but taking it easy. You are freeing yourself. You are doing some pretty major healing. You are definitely a service-oriented, very psychic, highly spiritual person. And you're busy, but you also need to learn to receive and to allow that strength and that grace to be provided for you as well, because you deserve that. All right, guys, that is what I see for you. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you. It was truly a blessing, a privilege, and an honor. I had such a great time. I hope that you enjoyed it too. If you did, thank you so much for liking the video. It just brings me so much joy and happiness every time I see that people like something that I like too. It's like we get to share in that together, and it brings us together as one. And if you really enjoyed the reading and you want to see more, then stick around, subscribe to the channel. I have so many amazing ideas coming, you guys. Just like get excited, get ready. And then also, if you want to work with me one-on-one at a personal level, I am a professional psychic medium, energy healer, Akashic reader, and spiritual mentor and manifestation coach. So you can find all my services. I know it's like a mouthful every time, but I'm a jack of all trades. So you can find all of those services at the link to my website, which is in the description box and pinned in the comments underneath the timestamps. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye.